So, anyway, lads, we've got to talk about the fever, and it's something really, really, really important. And it was from the interview with Amber Cox when she was talking about what some of their plans are. And what she said was genuinely a really, really important thing. But before we get on to that, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 40.38k just to gain 1 subscriber today. That would be incredible. We're 21 off gaining 1, but yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. But with the Indiana Fever, we have heard Amber Cox, we've heard a lot of people talk about how they need speed, they need shooting, they need size, they need defense. And we've seen it with the WNBA free agents. That player doesn't exist. You've got... and some sort of veteran leadership. You got none of that. And you got veteran leadership in Natasha Howard. You've got size, no shooting, no speed in Bree Jones. You've got size, speed, veteran leadership in Alyssa Thomas, no shooting. And obviously she's never going to come. If you can get an Alyssa Thomas, great. And a lot of the time people are like, could be Satu or bust. But she very much said they are going to be looking overseas, which is so, so important. Like, it is super, super important to look at EuroLeague. And whether it be EuroLeague, EuroCup, just looking overseas at what teams and what players are doing well. So, like, obviously last year was an exceptional Fenerbahce team who beat the team that are being coached by the current Connecticut Sun coach. And if we want to look in the final last year, they had... like, Janelle Salone was playing for them. But she's playing in Italy this year. They had Kennedy Burke. And Fenerbahce, obviously, by far the best team in the league. They had Fee. They had Kayla McBride. They had MMA Simon. They had Uzun. They had so many players. And they were just a class above last year, to be fair. And this year... and to be fair, they also had Satu, who was injured. Which is kind of mad. But... Janelle Salone is the one player I would really, really look at. Like, she, obviously, this season is even better. Like, last season, she averaged 11.5 points per game, and this year it's better. And a lot of people are like, is it Salone or bust? And I think there's a little bit of that sentiment. I would say, like, that is a sentiment that a lot of people have had. Is like, is it Janelle Salone or bust? Because there are a lot of good teams, honestly, when it comes into good players, especially just because of how young she is and how well she's going to fit. And if you guys want to look even just at the page right here, a lot of the top players you got like Maria Conde, who's signed by the Golden State Valkyries. Like Mersin are the top team in EuroLeague. They have... I think they're 6-0 right now. They've got Natasha Howard. They've got Rupert. And I think they got Carly Samuelson as well. And Marie Johannes, who's out injured for a while. Fenerbahce are really nice as well. But I want to see just in general. I want to look at the stats. I want to see who's leading it in stats. So obviously, you've got the teams right here. So the leader in points per game. That is definitely not correct. It is definitely not 12. So a game high is someone at 27. Is there a points per game? 2-point field goal percentage, points. No, it's just literally points in an individual game, which is kind of irrelevant. And again, look, I haven't been watching a lot. Why does it only have like 4 players here? At least Layla Lacan at 13 in the game. Why are there only like a couple of teams here? That's a weird one. They have 12.2 points per game as a leader because they only have 3 teams, which is weird. Now, if you look at EuroLeague, you've only got 3 teams that it shows. So obviously the website's not being great, but there are genuinely a lot of a lot of good teams. Like, you got to just look at the players that are playing on the nice teams, like Merson, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. They are 7-0, and like this is a good roster. You've obviously got Natasha Howard, you've got Rupert, you've got Carly Samuelson, Johannes, who's injured. So you got to just start looking, realistically, if you are the Fever, you got to just start looking and seeing who are the best players. Obviously, Rupert's leading in efficiency per game. She was drafted by the Valkyries. And it is going to be one of those things where it's like looking for players that rebound, score, and can hit the 3-ball. So I don't really know, and I will be interested because as the season goes on, I probably will be looking more so at games. Like, it really is just showing these couple of teams. And then there obviously is EuroCup as well, which is in the women's side. Like, EuroCup, there are a lot of really good players because are playing EuroCup. Like, you've got Malonga is the MVP, was the MVP for November, which is huge in EuroCup. Like, you've got Ferrell playing playoff round 1. When was this game? And shout out to how did Claire get on? 11 points for Claire, not bad. If you guys wonder, Claire Amelia, an Irish player, she's actually doing well in She's doing really well in EuroCup. Fair play to her. But like, you've got Galatasaray as well in EuroCup, who are like Julie Van Loo and some other players as well. Like, they have Van Loo. Is she their only WNBA player? She is actually, it seems. But yeah, like, it's an interesting one looking overseas because I've said this, the reason why these players don't really exist in the WNBA is with your Genos, your Dawn Staley's, your Kim Mulkeys, they only care about winning college championships. It's not about development. Because realistically, college was where you were going to get it was the biggest anyway. So it was like, cool, you're big, you post player. And high schools would develop big equals post player. Whereas in Europe, Leonie Fibic, Aisha Sivka, 6'4" snipers. You're looking and it's like, okay, if you're a big growing up in Europe, if you're a guard, you're a guard. Even if you grow to 6'4", if you're a guard, you're a guard. You're expected to do a bunch of different things. And look, these players aren't abundant in Europe either. It's not like international is just some factory for finding unbelievable players for the W. But there are more Leonie Fibiches out there. You can go for a Janelle Salone, who would be, literally, she's the same, she's like a couple of months old in Paige Beckers. Janelle Salone would be probably the second or third pick in this year's draft. And if you can somehow basically get the second or third pick for free in free agency, I think she is the most sought after overseas player. But trust me, there are more metrics, there are more things to look at. I'm not someone who's an expert. I'm really not. Like, I watched Salone play when she destroyed Ireland last year. And I'll probably watch her cook Ireland again in February. But still, overseas really is where the Fever, if they are going to find any gems, it won't be from the W, it will be from overseas, and it'll be very, very interesting. But anyway, I'll see you guys.